What are you doing? Stephen Thomas with Reports on Housing coming to you live on this Friday, the 10th of September. Pretty awesome. We're already flying through September. Pretty soon this year is going to be done. It's pretty much baked as far as housing is concerned. Not going to be a whole heck of a lot more that's changing over the course of the coming months. But thank you for joining us on this hot Friday afternoon. It's supposed to be a lot cooler next week. I'm glad because my daughter, she runs cross country and she has to arrive in the morning for morning practice when it gets this hot. So we're waking up at like 5:30 in the morning every morning. And I know some people do that all the time, but we also stay up late here at the Thomas household. Anyhow, thank you for joining us on this Friday afternoon in the middle of September. Getting really close to September 11th tomorrow at AYSO. I will be reffing some games and coaching some games. We're going to take a brief moment of silence at that 20-year anniversary to remember it. I remember it just like as if it was yesterday. It's hard to believe, but September 11th was one of those things that if you lived through it and saw it, it was something that shook you up for quite some time. Mentally, and for quite some time you were thinking a little bit differently. And I'm sure as a country and as a world, we've grown a lot from that and have learned quite a bit as well. So anyways, my something to remember all the people that sacrificed their lives running into those buildings. So something that we cannot forget either. So I would my hat's off to all those people that perished in the 9/11. And also all the people that, of course, were those first responders, that many of them lost their lives as well. So something to remember tomorrow on September 11th. Anyhow, let's go ahead and begin. And I'm glad that you're all here. So let's see. All right. Is it chat overlay? Oh, okay. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get this party started on this September 10th at 3:02. And let's go ahead and begin. First of all, we'd like to thank our continued sponsor, my buddy and your buddy, Kevin Buddy at Monarch Coast Financial. He, of course, they're dealing with more than one kind of borrower. There's more than one kind of loan then. And they deal with everything from full documentation loans to alternative documentation loans to investor financing and even private money. So Kevin Buddy knows what he's talking about. He's been doing this for a super long time. He's got loads and loads of experience. He's been doing it since 1976. And you can reach out to Monarch Coast Financial, Kevin Buddy. And he's my buddy, your buddy, Kevin Buddy. And it actually helped my family out. We closed on a refinance a couple months ago, and they did an absolute superb job. And it's what you expect from an absolute professional. So thanks, Kevin, for that. And you can reach him as well at 949-422-2075. That's 949-422-2075. And thanks again, Kevin, for your continued sponsorship. So, Reports on Housing. It's your local real estate snapshot. That is our company. That is the company that we started many years ago, and it's all about driving home expectations. And I am the nerd behind it. I also have another nerd I hired, and then my wife helps out with all the bookkeeping and financing and accounting. And you know what? I'm got that quantitative economics and decision sciences major, so I really am a nerd. And love the numbers and data and statistics. It really makes me happy. I was actually driving my daughter to soccer. Daughter? I think it was my daughter. Or yes, I believe I was picking up my son. And then on the way there, I thought of something that I can crunch, and I'm bringing it to you live today. So it's something that I will continue to take a look at over time, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But that kind of stuff excites me. So we have reports that dot all over Southern California. And the most recent one that came out along the coast, Orange County, Los Angeles, and San Diego, called the Autumn Calm. And that is what we're dealing with. We shifted gears. We are officially into the autumn market. I don't care if autumn officially starts later on this month. It officially started for real estate the moment the kids started going back to school. When we hit September 1st, it was for sure the autumn market. It is here. And reportsonhousing.com. That is the name of our company. It's the plural of report. It's reports because we do lots of reports. Reportsonhousing.com. Go there to subscribe. It's $15 per month or $150 per year, intentionally inexpensive to make you think twice about why you're not doing it and getting a cup of Starbucks instead. You get a month free if you sign up utilizing the coupon code WINDOW. And that is what we're going to be talking about, window. But first, got a couple funnies for you. This is Wanted. Wanted, a house that doesn't have 50 offers on it. In other words, like some of these are funny, not really funny type of thing. And the face you make waiting for the appraisal, I think that's pretty much all real estate agents going, gosh, am I going to make it? Both on the listing and buyer side of things. It just does not matter. We're all rooting for that appraisal to come in, and it keeps us on the edge of our seat. So let's get into window closing. Is it closing? Is the window closing for buyers and sellers? That's what a lot of people are actually asking. They feel like, man, I've didn't purchase before, so gosh, I really wish I would have purchased way back when. And that's what this couple's doing. They're taking a look at gosh, I wish I would have done it a year ago or a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I've heard it from a lot of different people because what they're talking about is this is home prices, and this is home values, Case-Shiller index, and they've absolutely been skyrocketing. And they're afraid of purchasing at that peak. And the fact that housing has got so much more expensive over time, the longer they wait, the more expensive things get. And they're wondering, man, should I even participate in looking for a house? Is it too late? Is that window of opportunity gone? And then I come in crunching the numbers and the data, and I get pretty excited because I want to show you, I want to properly set expectations. I'm not trying to steer everybody into real estate. This is exactly what I would tell my mom. This is what I told somebody. I was texting somebody on an aircraft carrier on the other side of the world, and he's contacted me, and I've kept him abreast of what's going on in the housing market. I told him the same thing. I'm going to tell him what I'm going to tell my mom. And that is, I really think right now, if you can purchase and it's good for your family and you can afford that monthly payment and you're not going to be sweating every single month making that payment, well, then you need to plunge in when you can. And in doing in numbers, I want you to know that that home values are on the rise, and they will continue to rise from here. It all has to do with that supply and demand. And I know some people think, it's simple. It's not as simple as you think. Econ 101, just the simple supply and demand. And this is the best way to encapsulate what's going on in the market right now. However, I'm looking at all kind of charts, all kind of data, all the stats, macro and micro, and looking at a lot of different things. And in doing that, it really justifies why the values will continue to accelerate and go up. As long as these interest rates stay low, which I imagine, and what I'm looking at, it looks like that they are, at least for the rest of the year and the start of next year, we're going to continue to have this kind of a market. The trend is your friend, and that's what I look for. I look for these trends. And this is that new statistic that I was telling you about, that I was driving to go pick up my son from soccer practice, and it's not all homes sell instantly. And I wanted to know specifically what it was in Southern California. And I actually did this by county, but I'm going to give you this Southern California because I'm going to save that for the actual housing reports that all of my subscribers subscribe to. And 30 plus days on the market. So this is out of all the homes on the market right now in Southern California, the number that have been on for 30 plus days is 44%, 8,985, so nearly 9,000 homes. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, and that's because our inventory definitely is muted, but still 44% of what's on the market right now has been on the market for 30 plus days. And 60 plus days is 24% of the market, 4,829. 90 plus days is 14% of the market, 2,748. So it's getting to be a smaller and smaller percentage once you've been on the market for a longer amount of time, which of course that is what you would expect. Something else you would expect is a lot of people would expect this to be the higher price ranges, but that's not necessarily true for the 30 plus days. The median is 879,000 for all the homes that are on the market right now. And the 60 plus days, the median is 1,049,000. So yes, the higher price ranges are starting to take an effect in the lower price ranges. There aren't as many that have been on the market for 2 months plus. And at 3 months plus, yes, we are starting to talk luxury at 1.35 million, because this includes all of Southern California. That would be Riverside, San Bernardino, and the inland San Diego County, which will skew this down to a lower number. In looking at peeling it apart for Orange County and San Diego and Los Angeles along the coast, what you're really seeing is it is definitely the high price ranges that have been on the market pretty much for 90 plus days. And it's not all of them, because a lot of them sell instantly, but I'm talking about the homes that are not selling instantly. There are some out there. So there is definitely hope for those people that are looking for something that's been on the market for a little while. You might need to pull out a paintbrush. You might need to do a little bit more landscaping, or the home needs some work. And some of this, of course, is our overzealous sellers, and we're getting price reductions, and you're seeing why. Because there are so many people that have been on the market for quite some time in a marketplace where it's extremely hot. So here's also something that I wanted to bring up: the cost of time. So the fact that you did not purchase a year ago, the purchase price was, let's say, 875,000, 20% down to 700,000. Your payment I should have put today's rate. The payment at the rate of last year, we'll have to update these for anybody that wants a copy of this. That is a subscriber, of course. The payment last year right now was actually the same. It was at 2.88%. So the payment last year and this year are identical. So at $2,906 is what your monthly payment would be. At 18.6% appreciation, you're looking at $1,037,750. Now that's the Case-Shiller CoreLogic number, and they're a couple months behind. But they're doing an annual. This thing's probably going to reach 22%. But anyways, at $1,037,750, that's for the exact same house. That $875,000 house is appreciated to that. The mortgage amount at 20% down is $830,200. Now that same payment at 2.88% today is $3,447 per month. It's an extra $541 every month. So it's almost $6,500 per year. That if you didn't purchase a year ago and you're looking to purchase right now, yes, that is what you left behind. However, from here, there is still a cost of waiting. You purchase a home today, and today's rate is 2.88%, that $1,037,500. There you go, $3,447. Now look, purchase a home a year from now, and there are a lot of people that are saying that over the next year that values of homes should go up about 5%. In between 5 and 6% is what a lot of forecasts are coming out to be. Based upon what I'm seeing and where supply will be at the beginning of this year, and where we do most of our growth and appreciation for the first several months of the year, I'm thinking we're going to be closer to 10% appreciation. And this is just a little bit of forecast of my forecast coming up, which I will start presenting later on this month. So we're looking at that $1,037,000 house going up towards $1,141,250. So now your mortgage amount is $913,000. Now your payment's $3,790. Now waiting a year from now, you're looking at $343 per month, or $4,116 that you're giving away if you wait another year to purchase. And that's just if rates stay at 2.88%. Now, a lot of people think that rates are going to go up to 3.5%. And I'm not necessarily feeling that. Maybe a year from now, we can get at 3.5%. And if we do get to 3.5%, I'm here to tell you right now that that is the threshold of our pain, because of the fact that we're going to go up another 10%. It is going to be 3.5% that is going to slow down the real estate market enough for our values to come back up. But it doesn't mean it's going to turn into a buyer's market. It's going to be enough to allow the inventory to rise from where it is today. So it won't become a buyer's market. It'll be more of a balanced market if we get up towards 3.5%. And that's, of course, if we have that 10% appreciation that I'm talking about. And now you're looking at a monthly payment of $4,100 per month. So now it's $653 monthly that it costs extra, or an extra $7,836 per year. So you can understand, for those people waiting for interest rates to get much lower, I don't believe that they're going to get much lower. There's only a few things that I could think of that would cause that. It's definitely not another COVID wave, because we're probably going to get further COVID waves, which is probably why we're going to continue to go down this path that we're going down right now of low interest rates and very few homes on the market. So that is why I think that we're going to continue to see more of the same as far as interest rates are concerned. However, we could go all the way up to 3.5%, and you could be paying more if we do go up towards 3.5%. But that is not what I'm projecting based upon what I am seeing because of these different waves of COVID. And we'll get into that. But let's talk about the Southern California housing supply so you can understand this from a seller's or buyer's perspective. Put on that hat and you'll see that the Southern California housing supply, we're still extremely anemic. And this is we're dealing with an inventory crisis. September 2nd, last week, for all of Southern California, we're at 19,895 homes on the market. That was 4% less. We dropped 748 homes, the biggest drop in many counties in that 2-week period. Last year, we were at 25,476. That's 28% higher than where we are today. And last year at this time, that was an all-time low since I started recording the data. So 3-year average prior to COVID, 2017 and 2019, is 40,887. So that's double where we are today. So you get the gist that where we are today is very, very low. We're dealing with not a surplus like we did prior to the Great Recession. We're dealing with a supply crisis where it's extremely anemic. And today's numbers are at 20,296. So it actually went up 2% in the last week, and an extra 339 homes. And a lot of those actually came on the market over last night. And I think we were holding off on some of the homes that were coming on the market last week because of the fact that it was a Labor Day weekend, and now they're coming on right now. So I crunched the numbers, and sure enough, they're up pretty much. They went up that much overnight. And there's just a lot of fresh inventory that came on the market in the last 24 hours. So we've already peaked. Even though we went up 2%, it's not enough to make up the difference of how much we came down the last week in the numbers that we crunched. And we're going to continue to go down. This is where our peak is. This is where we're going to eventually head slowly but surely down. It's where we head almost every single year unless we have rising interest rates. So and then last year, you can't really compare ourselves to last year because last year was a COVID year, completely different. We were placing more homes on the market during the fall when it was just a different year. It was a COVID year. You can't compare it. Then once we get to the end of the year, we will come down even further. And this is why I know that for Southern California, we're going to be dealing with the supply crisis at the start of 2022, where we're going to have just absolutely nothing on the market, fewer homes on the market than this year. And that's hard to wrap your head around, but that is exactly what's going to happen. And the reason why we're coming down right now in the inventory, yes, we came up, I explained it, that had a lot to do with the Labor Day weekend, but over the course of the next several weeks and all the way up to November, we're going to continue to go down because we have these seasons. It's a seasonality effect. There are 5 seasons, not really just 4. There's one in between autumn and winter. I call it the holidays. And that one lasts from about the second week of November through the first couple weeks of January. And then we move into the winter market. So they behave differently. But we're in autumn right now. That's where the inventory slowly drops as well as demand slowly drops. Now, because of Labor Day, we had this recent inventory increase over the last 2 weeks. But you'll see in a minute that demand is doing something very, very similar, because it kind of jives together during the fall and the holidays. So kids are back in school. families don't want to move when it's when the kids are back in school, especially this year now that they're actually in school. It's not a virtual school, and so you have to understand there is an inventory crisis. There's just not enough for sale signs right now, and if you look at this is the turnover rate for all of Southern California. If you see for all of Southern California, the true housing stock, that's 4.3 million homes that are single family residents or condos. That what closed in 2020 is 193,000, which is 4.5%, which means that we're moving at a rate of once every 22 years. And I know that after tracking this for many years, that actually these numbers are a little bit, they got higher. It was once every 20 years. Now it's it has actually once every 19 years. Now it's made its way up to once every 22 years. And that is just the trend of where things are going. And if you look at this is existing home sales, this is where we were prior to the Great Recession. We were selling a lot of homes. And then this is existing home sale inventory prior to the Great Recession. And then right prior, starting at the end of 2005, all the way up to where this thing crashed, inventory just came on like crazy. We had an absolute glut. And then we shifted. And after the Great Recession, there was this paradigm shift for the way that we looked at our homes. No longer was it an asset not, that we were looking at as an investment. We were looking at it as a home. And as a result, what we've seen since 2012 is this even number of home sales. It's been slightly up, slightly down some years, like 2019 was a little bit less at the end of 2018 also because of higher interest rates. And then you get the bottom, the plunge during the beginning of COVID, and then the spike after we reopened the economy, and then it's come back down towards normal. And that's what it's doing. It's coming back towards this trend line. That's normal. And I also wanted to show you what's happening with the existing home inventory. So you know what happened prior to the Great Recession and right before it crashed. And what's happened over time is that the inventory has slowly but surely been going down, adding to the inventory crisis. And if you look over since we went into this pandemic, it got even worse. The start of 2020, even prior to the pandemic beginning, we already had not enough homes on the market across the United States, and the pandemic just absolutely made things worse. And I talk about part of making this worse is the fact that there aren't as many homeowners placing their homes on the market. And this was true after the Great Recession, comparing after the Great Recession to prior to the Great Recession. And now this is true after we started the pandemic versus prior to the pandemic, because in all of 2020, I've talked about it before, we're missing close to a little over 24,000 homes for 2020, and January to August we're missing close to 16,000 homes so far this year, and that's comparing it to 2017 to 2019. You can't compare it to 2020 because that was that COVID year. So I'm showing you that so you understand we're just fewer and fewer homes are coming on the market, and it seems to be this new pattern, and we'll see if it continues to stick. I think it might, because the pandemic has changed our idea of home, exactly what our home means to us, because we spent so many days and hours. So there is a little bit of a reshuffling, but people are staying in their homes longer as well. So let's shift gears to demand, and demand is fueled by these extra low interest rates. And here we are on the right-hand side. We've been stuck at a very, very low rate. We've been at below 3% for quite some time, since July, and it's been kind of stuck at between 2.88 and 2.87% for many weeks now. COVID-19 began right there at that spike, that blue spike. And then from there, that's where we've actually had 17 record lows. So we wouldn't even be dealing with any of these low interest rates if it wasn't for COVID. And that is the purpose of showing you that. But you could just see where we were at today at that 2.88% is exactly where we were 1 year ago right now as well. So we've been maintaining these very, very low interest rates. And what's keeping a lid on interest rates is the fact that we're dealing with all these different Delta is the latest one that we've been dealing with, but they've come across another one called MU. I don't know if you've been following. I guess it's following the Greek alphabet. But anyways, it seems that we're going to be dealing with COVID for quite some time, and that's going to keep a lid on interest rates for some time until we can completely get past this pandemic. So as a result of these low interest rates and very few homes on the market, which I've just spelled out, we have an auction-like atmosphere. Things are selling for over asking price. Just pretty much everything is selling for above asking. 70.6% of all homes that closed in California sold above asking price last month. And so the snapshot of the last 30 days worth of pending activities, if you look at for Orange County not Orange County, for all of Southern California, I don't know where my head just went, but for all of Southern California, September 2nd, a week ago, last Thursday, 18,279. It was actually down 2% or 438 pending sales. Last year, we were at 21,313. That's 17% higher, or 3,034 extra pending sales. And you have to understand that was this delay of the demand due to COVID. And that's why it's higher last year than this year. But still, even where we are today, it's elevated compared to where the 3-year average is. It's 14% higher. I mean, the 3-year average is 14% lower than where we are at today. And actual today, and crunching the numbers, we're at 18,569. So that went up 2%, up 290. It didn't make up totally for the loss that we had last week when we snapped the numbers. But like I said, some of that is a little bit of makeup demand because everybody enjoyed themselves a little bit during the Labor Day weekend. And now we're back to reality and people are transacting with real estate. It's just still, it's coming down over time. It's called fall. And this is where it will go for the remainder of fall. And then it will plunge down once we get to the holidays. That's normal. Just like the inventory plunges. So those people, that buyers that say, I should wait till then when demand plunges. Well, at the same time, inventory is plunging almost at the same rate. So there won't be that much of a change in the overall feel of the marketplace. And the speed of the market, the expected market time last Thursday was at 33 days, a week ago yesterday. So it was 33 days a week ago. And it didn't change from 2 weeks prior. Last year, we were at 36 days this time, so we're slightly better than last year. And every market actually is better than the prior year, except for San Bernardino. They're actually higher than they were last year at this time. The 3-year average is 76 days, and so that's much higher than where we are today. And today, not last, so a week ago we were at 33. Today we're at 33 days again, because the supply increased, but so did demand at the same rate. And so we didn't get much of a change. As a matter of fact, we've been stuck at 33 days for the last 7 weeks. So if you were to enter the market 7 weeks ago or enter the market today, the feeling would be the exact same across the marketplace. And I just did put this thing together, and it's kind of a speedometer, but it works in reverse because we're used to looking at the very right-hand side. It's speeding, so I reversed it. And so the needle actually moves this way when it slows down. So on the right-hand side for 33 days, you could see it's in hot seller's market. Anything below 40 is actually extremely hot. You get between 60 and 90, and it's a slight seller's market. Between 90 and 120 is a balanced market. So it doesn't even go from sellers to buyers. It slowly but surely makes its way to equilibrium. And then slowly but surely, it's a slight buyer's market. That means buyers get to call more of the shots, but there's not much depreciation. You got to get above 150 days expected market time for this even to start to strip away at value. We're not even close. We're at 33 days. I just show you this so you have the idea. If you look at this, looks like we're speeding. Absolutely, we are speeding. As a matter of fact, Riverside and San Bernardino and San Diego were all below 20 days earlier during the spring, and that is exceptionally hot. So this is exactly where we are today. Should have remembered I did that. So anyways, Southern California expected market time year over year. So this is, if you place your home on the market, when are you going to open up escrow? And that's what this market time statistic really means. And it's going to be flat for the remainder of the year. And it's going to stay below that 40-day mark. And anything below 40 days is absolute insanity. It's just insane. And that is where we're behaving for all Southern California counties at 40 days or below. Some of the counties are even lower, like Orange County for one, and San Diego County definitely lower. So if you are a home seller, what I'm going to ask you to do is, and if you're thinking about, boy, did I miss out? This is a good time to write a contract. It absolutely is. You did not miss the boat. I showed you with supply and demand that we're still going to have an extremely low anemic supply of homes from now through the end of the year. We're going to start off next year, which is the beginning of our year. We'll trail into the spring with not enough homes on the market. The only thing that can fix this is interest rates rising, and I don't see interest rates rising. So then the only thing that can slow down our market is values rise to the threshold where it's just they're too high, where enough buyers start walking away. And that will happen over time. It's just not going to happen now. And if all things remain the same based upon my predictions, it looks like by the time we get to the middle of next year, there'll be more buyers that walk away if nothing happens to interest rates. So there's still a lot of appreciation, a lot of juice left in this. So if you're a buyer looking to purchase now, there's still a lot of juice left. And if you're a seller looking, a homeowner looking, should I put my home on the market? Absolutely. It's still an extremely hot market. So just know that I have an economic model. I am a economic housing analyst. That is what I do. I'm asking you to please ignore these people that are investors or don't have any kind of a pedigree, that they base a lot of what they're talking about on one item, and then they go try to look for another item that justifies their opinion, but they're not looking at everything aggregately together like I am, and like so many other people, other economists are out there. There's plenty of housing analysts to listen to that actually know what they're talking about, and we don't fear what's going on right now. We don't see that crash that so many people are talking about. So let's see. If you want a copy of this, you need to be a subscriber. You can go ahead and ping me, email me. You can put it in the comment section. We'll send you a copy of this presentation. And go to Reports on Housing, REPORTS. It's the plural report because we do plenty of reports on housing.com. Click on subscribe, and it's $15 per month or $150 per year, intentionally making you scratch your head wondering why you're not subscribing right now. You get a month free if you utilize the coupon code WINDOW, because that window of opportunity is not closing right now. If it did, I would tell you. If it was my mom asking me what to do, I would tell her the same thing that I told you right now today. So Kevin Buddy, my buddy, your buddy, Kevin Buddy at Monarch Coast Financial deals with every kind of financing options, as well as loads and loads of experience, extremely intelligent. You can actually talk to him about the economic scene because he has been in this so long, and he likes to talk about it as well. So he's kind of a nerd like myself and does such a great job. My buddy, your buddy, Kevin Buddy at 949-422-2075. That's 949-422-2075. Thank you, Kevin, for your continued your continued sponsorship. And I will bring in a couple slides. Somebody asked me, where's my bobblehead? I see some people want a copy. I want to see if I didn't miss anything. Yeah, Logan. Yeah, Logan's right. Not even 5% rates budged the total inventory. It did. We actually slowed down. We downshifted. And that is when you did the analysis. Yeah, that is right where we're starting to get affordability. Not enough to bring it into a buyer's market. More of a balance is what I was seeing. More of a balance than anything else. Not really anything that favored buyers or sellers. So it didn't flood us with a giant inventory. And we didn't have 5% interest rates long enough for us to accumulate the inventory. I certainly wish that I don't wish for it right now, but that back then, but now I'm rooting for higher interest rates. I would like to see higher interest rates so we can see a better inventory come to market where enough buyers start backing off and we can allow that inventory to grow. And if we did that, then we could get more of a balance and a better feel, and we wouldn't get a lot of people overpricing. And even if we did, those people would languish on the market. So I'm rooting for that kind of a thing. And the reason for that is because I don't want to see this kind of grotesque appreciation. It's just not healthy for the long-term viability of housing, as well as for a lot of people that are going to get squeezed out of this marketplace, and rents are going to continue to rise. So let's see if I missed anything else. Let's see. Here's somebody that said something. Michael DeVar. Don't you think you should consider the luxury price range to be raised to a slightly higher number in lieu of the home values going up consistently? Good. Yeah, good question, Kevin, or statement. Yes, absolutely. I actually do this every year. I take a look at it. I do the top 10%, and then my reports I splice it up a little bit more. So I take luxury for Orange County and Los Angeles is 1.5 million plus. For San Diego, it's 1.25 million. That was the top 10% for all of 2020. It was 800,000 for Riverside County and 650,000 plus for San Bernardino County. Well, I can only do this annually because I got to be consistent with my work. And so at the beginning of next year, I'll be doing it again and looking at what the new luxury thresholds are and then making a change at that time. So yes, we will be doing that. But at the end of the year, we're not going to be doing it on a monthly basis. That would make it extremely hard because I understand 1.5 million, chump change, right? It's hard to believe that we're even saying that. I can't even believe it that the median sales price home for a detached has appreciated to over $1 million. Very hard to believe, but very good point, Michael. And I do address that. Anyways, I really appreciate you all tuning in. Have a fantastic rest of your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. It's going to be a warm one. Drink lots of fluids, hit the beach, go to the pool, sell some real estate, buy some homes, put your home on the market, that type of thing. We will see you on the other side. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy your weekend.